I spoke to a guy in the gym who consumes 220 grams of protein every single day, and it was one of the most valuable conversations that I ever had. The problem was he was consuming too much protein. He was having 220 grams of protein a day, and for reference, he weighed the same as me, around 84 kilo, which is around 2.5 grams per kilo of body weight of protein per day. The problem with consuming too much protein is it's not bad for you, it's not going to kill you, it's not going to ruin your liver. It's the excess calories that come with it. Having excess protein with the same calories is never ever going to be a detrimental thing. It's just the fact that you can use those calories more productively, allocating it to different macronutrients. It comes with the consequence of increased calories. That's the problem. And when people are trying to diet, it becomes very, very difficult to consume that much amount of protein when they think that that's what they need to do, and also lower the calories in a deficit as well. It's very, very difficult. Let me give you the actual accurate protein information that you need, right? How much protein should you eat in a day? You should have around 0.8 to 1 gram per pound of body weight of protein, or 2 to 2.2 grams per kilogram in body weight of protein. So what that basically means is I weigh 180 pounds, I should have 0.8 to 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. So I should eat around 180, 170 grams of protein. Or if you'd like to work in kilos, I should eat around 2 to 2.2 per kilogram. I weigh about 84 kilograms, 83 kilograms. So again, I should be having about 170 grams of protein. That's how it kind of works out for me specifically. So work out how much you weigh in pounds or kilos and use them figures. 0.8 to 1 gram or 2 to 2.2 grams. And it's important that you have it in a range. As long as you hit in that nice wide range, you're going to be completely fine. That's all you need to worry about for your protein goal. You do not need to worry about the timing. The only two things you need to worry about is, are you having enough in the day, which you've just found out? Are you having enough? Are you having too much? Are you having too little? I've just given you the number, so just worry about that one little range. And two, make sure it's distributed over 2 to 3 meals, which is what 99.99% of you are already doing already. Eat 2 or 3 meals a day, get enough protein in. That's all you have to worry about. This is exactly how I will balance my macronutrients within my diet. I have 170 grams, like I said to you before, 170 to 190 grams of protein, because that's what works for me based off my weight and the amount you should have per kilogram of body weight. That takes up around 25% of my calories. Then I will have 0.5 grams per pound of fat. So again, I weigh 180 pounds, I will have 90 grams of fat, and that takes up about 15%, 20% of my diet. So 45% of my calories are proteins and fats. So the rest of it, my 55% of my macronutrients, comes from carbs. But they forget this very, very important thing. Muscle glycogen is stored in each individual fiber. And the reason why that's important is because let's imagine you're training biceps. Let me put it into an actual fucking scenario so you can understand. Let's imagine you're training biceps, right? And yes, you don't need carbs. You're thinking you don't need carbs because your whole body has glycogen stores and it never actually depletes, etc., right? But because you know now that glycogen stores are stored within each individual fiber, and you're training biceps, the fibers within your biceps, the individual fibers in your biceps have now become depleted because you're training that singular muscle. But you're not training your legs, you're not training your back, right? Maybe if you're doing a back, it can kind of like overlap. So let's say you're not training your chest, you're not training your abs, you're not training your legs. So there's very high glycogen stores in these muscles that you're not training because they're not under resistance. But your biceps are being trained, so that's going to be very depleted. So even though your biceps are depleted, you've got high glycogen stores in other parts of your body, which is why the entire body never decreases in glycogen stores. But remember, they're stored in each individual fiber. And what are you training? Your biceps. So all you want to care about when you're training your biceps is what is the glycogen stores like within your biceps? Well, obviously they're fucking depleted because they're stored in each individual fiber. So that's going to worsen your performance. I talk about it in my course all the time. Training intensity is very, very important. And when you have minimal glycogen stores within the specific fibers in the muscle that you're training, you will then have worse performance and at less training intensity. So I hope this isn't too nerdy speak for you. Let me just dumb it down for you very, very simply. Carbs and timing of carbs matter because your glycogen stores in specific muscles can deplete. they can deplete, which then result in worse training performance. So if you have carbs and time them very well, this will increase the glycogen stores in the muscles that you're about to train, which means you can train at a higher intensity and then have better gains because of that. Now, how do you time carbohydrates? Now, we've just talked about the amount of carbs you should have. I think you should worry about the amount of protein and fat you have and then fill the rest with carbs, right? But what about the timing? And again, the timing of these are very simple, very, very simple. I want you to have a safe number is to have 50 grams to 100 grams of carbs from anywhere between 2 hours to directly before your workout, preferably a little bit earlier on in that range so you can digest, but anywhere from 2 hours to directly before your workout, and then have some carbs after the workout, maybe an hour or two, again, another 50 or 100 grams. And again, protein timing doesn't matter, just the daily intake does, but carb timing does matter. And I've just told you all of the timings, all the amount of carbs, fats and proteins you can have. This is the perfect video for macronutrients. Again, we dive more deep in the description. We have a whole module on diet and how you can implement it effectively into your life. I think it is very, very valuable, so go and check it out. But that's how you're probably consuming too much protein. I know this is a hit to one of your core beliefs about fitness. You think protein is super, super important, but excessive protein can actually be detrimental. You could actually possibly reap more benefits if you allocate some of those calories to carbs instead, whilst also guaranteeing that you are getting the actual adequate amount of protein. A good sign as well is when you're having a lot of protein farts. Well, what do you think that means, bro? When you're having protein farts, your protein is getting expended, your amino acids are getting expended because there's excessive amounts of it. That's a clear indication, bro. So, hopefully this has opened your eyes, right? I've just broken a couple of limiting beliefs and your nutrition is about to change forever. Remember, still get all of these things from Whole Foods. Don't fall for that bullshit if it fits your macros BS, right? Don't fall for it. Your performance will only drastically increase if you have the right amount of carbs, time it very correctly and get it from proper food. That is all you need to do. I hope I've dumbed down this fucking nerdy explanation for you and I hope you actually understand it. Maybe watch the last segment of the video again to truly understand it, because I think it is very, very powerful. That 1 5-minute conversation changed how I believed about other people's diets, and now I can use that to help you fix yours. So last time, we have more advice like this down in the description as well in my course. All my social medias are down in the description, so you can message me if you want any specific advice. If you feel like you need this explaining in a different way, or I've missed anything from this video, or you just want general advice specifically to you, that's what I allow you to do. My DMs are open. Ask me a question on that. I guarantee I'll reply to you, increase your trust in me. And also, you've got direct message access to me and other boys that are on this path in the course down in the description, which fitness coaches are charging thousands of pounds for. I think it's a genuine fucking steal. So go and have a look at that when you trust me enough. So there is the perfect guide to how much protein you should actually consume and the fact you're probably consuming way too fucking much. So without further ado, bro, don't overeat on your protein today. Allocate more of that to carbs and time your carbs correctly. Without further ado, bro, I've got a leg session today. Fuck. So I'm gonna go smash that out. So without further ado, have a good session, bro. And I will see you later.